To attribute the being and structure of this all to accident and chance is unreasonable. Since we affirm that this universe is everlasting and has never not existed, we should be correct and consistent in saying that providence for the all is its being, according to intellect. And that intellect is before it, not in the sense that it is prior in time, but because the universe comes from intellect, and intellect is prior in nature, and the cause of the universe as a kind of archetype and model, the universe being an image of it, and existing by means of it, and everlastingly coming into existence in this way. For from that true universe which is one, this universe comes into existence, which is not truly one. For it is many and divided into a multiplicity, and one part stands away from another and is alien to it. And there is not only friendship, but also enmity, because of the separation. And in their deficiency, one part is of necessity at odds with another. For the part is not self-sufficient, but in being preserved is at war with the other by which it is preserved. This universe has come into existence, not as the result of a process of reasoning that it ought to exist, but because it was necessary that there should be a second nature, just as a man's shadow is cast upon the ground in light of the sun. So intellect, by giving something of itself to matter, made all things in unperturbed quietness. The something of itself is the rational formative principle flowing from intellect. Now in this drama of life, of which men imitate certain parts when their nature is poetic, it is the soul that is the actor. This actor receives his part from the Creator, as stage actors receive from the poet their mask, garments, their purple robe, or their rags. Thus, in the drama of the world, it is not from chance that the soul receives her part. In short, we assert that evil is only an omission or failure of good. Now, a coming short of good must necessarily exist in the beings here below, because in them good is mingled with other things. For this thing to which the good is allied differs from the good, and thus produces the lack of good. That is why it is impossible for evil to be destroyed, because things are successively inferior, relatively to the nature of the absolute good, and because, being different from the good from which they derive their existence, they have become what they are by growing more distant from their principle. It is probably not worth inquiring into the reason for the self-caused turning towards the worse. For a deviation which is slight to begin with, as it goes on in this way continually, makes the fault wider and graver. And the body is there too, and necessarily its lust. And the first beginning, the sudden impulse, if it is overlooked and not immediately corrected, even produces a settled choice of that into which one has fallen. Punishment certainly follows, and it is not unjust that someone who has come to be this sort of person should suffer the consequences of his condition. People must not demand to be well off who have not done what deserves well-being.